How did your toxic family member embarrass themselves at a funeral? My Uncle Derek always made everything about him. Family dinners, birthdays, even hospital visits. He'd find a way to steal the spotlight. The guy couldn't stand being in a room where he wasn't the center of attention. But at my grandfather's funeral, he outdid himself. Grandpa was this quiet, humble, witty veteran who never talked about his service. Purple Heart recipient, Bronze Star, the whole deal. But you'd never know it because he was too modest to brag. Derek, on the other hand, had been telling people for years that he almost joined the military and how he would have been special forces material. The funeral home was packed. Veterans from Grandpa's old unit, neighbors, family friends, everyone came to pay respects. Derek showed up in this cheap suit that was 2 sizes too small, already complaining about the parking and how they should have held it somewhere bigger. During the viewing, I watched him work the room like he was campaigning for office. He kept introducing himself as the nephew who was closest to him and telling random war stories that definitely weren't his to tell. My grandmother just shook her head every time she overheard him. The actual service was beautiful. The pastor talked about Grandpa's service, his 60-year marriage, how he volunteered at the VA hospital every week. Derek kept checking his phone during the eulogy, texting someone, completely ignoring the fact that people around him were crying. He even had the audacity to make loud comments about how fancy everything was and how Grandpa would have wanted something simpler. Then came the military honors. 2 Marines in dress blues approached the casket. The silence in that room was absolute. You could hear people breathing. These guys moved with precision that gave you chills. One was this young Lance Corporal, probably 22. The other was a grizzled sergeant with ribbons covering half his chest and eyes that had seen things. They began the flag folding ceremony. 13 folds, each one perfect, each one representing something sacred. The only sound was the crisp snap of the flag as they worked. My grandmother was sobbing quietly. Other veterans in the room stood at attention. This was it, the moment we were all honoring my grandfather's sacrifice and service. This sacred, silent moment that everyone respects. Derek suddenly stands up and shouts, "I serve too! Where's my flag?" The entire church went dead silent. 300 people turned to stare at Derek. The Lance Corporal's hands froze mid-fold. Derek had never served a day in his life. He sold used cars. The grizzled sergeant, this stone-faced man who'd probably seen combat in Iraq, slowly turned and looked at Derek. His eyes were ice cold. In the most professional voice ever, he said, "Sir, what branch did you serve in?" You could feel the tension in that room. Veterans were shaking their heads. My grandmother looked mortified. Derek panicked, realizing he'd stepped in it, but his ego wouldn't let him back down. The Army. Vietnam. Wrong answer on every level. Derek was 52. Vietnam ended in 1975. The math didn't even work. Plus, everyone in our family knew he'd spent the 80s and 90s partying and selling cars. The sergeant's expression didn't change, but you could sense danger. He nodded slowly, then said loud enough for everyone to hear, "Thank you for your service, sir. I'm sure you remember your MOS number then?" MOS. Military Occupational Specialty. Every soldier knows theirs by heart forever. Derek's face went completely white. He looked around the room like a trapped animal, realizing everyone was watching this train wreck unfold. He mumbled something about forgetting and started to sit down, hoping it would end, but the sergeant wasn't done. This man had probably served multiple tours, earned every ribbon on his chest, and here was some wannabe disrespecting a funeral and stolen valor all in one moment. He walked over slowly, maintaining that deadly calm professionalism. He took a napkin from the flowers, folded it with the same precision he'd just used on the flag, and handed it to Derek. "Here's your flag, soldier." The entire funeral erupted in suppressed laughter. Even my grieving grandmother cracked a smile. Derek left immediately and hasn't shown up to a family event since.